Hello, welcome everybody. Hello, Botis Signature. Hello, Oyin. Hello. Fantastic. Thanks for joining in. It's another Thursday, and today is another Tech Thursday with a different and exciting topic. Every topic is exciting. So if you can hear me, just let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. Let me know you can hear me loud and clear before we jump in. And you can let me know where you're tuning in from. Actually, where are you tuning in from? What part of the world are you tuning in from? And please confirm that you can hear me. Yeah? Can you hear me? Is internet great? Oh, you're so welcome. Febisola says, thank you for showing up diligently. I decided to do this a few weeks ago, and I said, you know what, no matter how many people, I'm going to show up every Thursday. And can I just be honest, I almost didn't do today. I said, is it really working? Are people listening? Is it helpful? Is it giving value? So thank you for that comment, because sometimes we all need, that encouragement. So thank you for showing up again today. All right. Happy Billionaire Wife is tuning in from Lagos. Awesome. All right. So remember, this is our quick 30 minutes, and I've gotten feedback that you like the short and sharp, so that's at least one good feedback I've been getting. Today, we're talking about using emotional intelligence as a parenting tool. Okay. Oh, we have somebody from Abeokuta in the house. Hello. Hi. That's good to know. All right, so today we're talking about using emotional intelligence as a parenting tool. And earlier today on my radio show, I have a weekly radio show, and I was talking about parenting being like a toolkit. Intentional parenting is equal to having a toolkit and different things that you're pulling out based on the season, the age of your child, and what's going on in your family or in the world. Okay. Oh, hello, Phoebe. You're from Seattle. Nice. So parenting for me is really like having a toolkit. And all of these things we talk about when it comes to intentional parenting doesn't mean that you have to cram it. And I don't want them feeling overwhelmed. I think one of my biggest desires is that parenting should be seen as fun. Yes, it is challenging, but it can be so much fun as well if we own it and we just take it bit by bit, step by step. We all know the African proverb that says it takes a village to raise a child, right? Yes, we are saying that. I say that still exists, but now it takes an e-village. Because see, we're communicating now on parenting, motherhood, and all of that using technology. So it takes an e-village, but the concept is just, we need a support system. We need to talk about it. We need to talk about everything that we go through within reason. And parenting is one of those things that we constantly learn. There's no school, even though LagosMums tries to offer something close to having a parenting school. So you can come and pick up different tidbits based on the age of your child and the situation in your family right now. So talking about emotional intelligence, let's just pause and delve into that. Most of us have heard about it in some shape or form, but I want us to just start with that grounding. What does emotional intelligence mean? And then how can it be a parenting tool? And it does have something to do with technology as well. So I'm going to talk about it in those three formats or three segments. So somebody please remind me of all the three things I've said I will cover. And then we'll have time for Q&A at the end as always. So first of all, emotional intelligence is a concept that started in the 80s and 90s. And it said that, when it comes to IQ or academic intelligence, a lot of people can measure it, right? They will give you, it would either be an assessment or you take exams in school. And it's pretty easy to measure the academic, intelligence or IQ, the IQ test, and you can get an answer to tell you maybe where you are on the spectrum of academic intelligence. That's more easily measurable. But emotional intelligence is actually your ability to process both yours and other people's emotions to be able to make a sound decision. So I'm going to say that again, because I did a lot of research to find what is the definition of emotional intelligence that I want to hold on to and that I'm using in my journey, in my life as a mother, business owner, wife, spouse, all the hats that I wear. Emotional intelligence is the process and your ability to process your own emotions and others' emotions and use it to make sound decisions. Can't we all agree that maybe that's even more important than academics? Okay, so if you're whatever camp you're on, is it more important? Is it equally important? Is it just as important? The question is that emotional intelligence is critical and it's more about emotions. It's not easily measured, but rather it is something that we all grow in day by day throughout our lives. So it's that ability to pay attention to our emotions, because emotions drive everything. Emotions drive how we react, how we behave, how we see the world, how we respond to our children, how we discipline them. Everything has emotions tied to it. And our children also have emotions. So when you use it as a parenting tool, it means that first of all, two things are happening. You are constantly aware of where you are, where your emotions are, where you're feeling whatever you're feeling. Are you feeling tense, anxious, sad, worried? There's so many emotions and none of them are either good or bad. Every single emotion has a place. I actually call emotions signals. Emotions are indicators. Emotions are real indicators. They let you know how you're feeling. And if you're not in tune and you don't take the time to ask, why did I do that? Why did I say that? You can just be on autopilot, and your body and your brain rather is getting used to this is how we operate when we feel this way. So emotions are really critical, that we all get to understanding that every emotion in itself is not good or bad by itself. It's what you do with it that matters, right? It'll be very inappropriate if you're laughing in a funeral, for example. I mean, laughter is a good emotion, but it can be used in an inappropriate place. So I think when we just see emotions as that, they're indicators, it's not good or bad. Different ones should come throughout the day, and it's fine. Now, when we understand that, that's emotional intelligence. If we understand that for ourselves, then we can start using it for our children, because our children also have emotions. Yeah, somebody here says that emotions even drive world economies. It sure does. And what the whole world has even gone through with the pandemic, we do know that there's some decisions that certain world leaders have made in different capacities that maybe were driven by emotions as well. So emotions really drives the whole world. So let's bring it to our world of parenting, our families and our homes. Our children are also allowed to have their own emotions. But somehow parents feel that a child should not show any emotion except the one that the parent wants. But a child is allowed to have every emotion: sadness, anger, frustration, worry, every single thing. Every emotion you can feel as an adult, your children also feel it. So when you use that as a parenting tool, it means that you don't judge an emotion in itself. Rather, you teach a child how to process their emotions, how to give it a word, how to speak about it, how to label it, and how to explain, right, how they're feeling. So when you start to use it for your for your parents and your children, and you teach them that however you're feeling doesn't give you the right to behave any which way you want. And I think that's the critical thing. Emotional intelligence as a parent is critical to have it, but when you have it, guess who benefits as well? Your children benefit, because you explain to them how to handle their own emotions. And because emotional intelligence is one of those things that you're learning throughout your life, you keep learning, you keep improving. Your child learning from you is one of the best ways and one of the best legacies that you can give your children. Now, I want to drop a quick research note here that I came across. It said that if two children have the same level of IQ at age 4, So 2 children, let's call them Bode and BC, right? They have the same IQ level at the age of 4. The level of emotional intelligence that their parents have in raising them can make all the difference in every area of their life, including educational attainment or achievement by the age of 8. So just over a 4-year period, Bode, who has parents who are very emotionally aware, have high emotional intelligence, so they are able to be present for their child. They raise a child to understand how to express themselves. The home is an enabling environment. The child is allowed to express every emotion and taught how to name the emotion, how to check the emotion, and how to take the right actions based on how they are feeling and what's going on in their world, will come out and do much better in his or her life compared to BC, who has parents who are very emotionally distant or who have very low emotional intelligence. So those are the parents that if they discipline a child and the child is a bit upset, they say, if you want to have a real good reason to cry, I will fill in the blank, right? We all know some parents who could say that, or maybe you say it. You discipline a child, and that child is okay to be emotionally upset, to be sad, to be crying, to be even sulky, right? But then you want that child and you threaten the child further and say, if you want me to give you a good reason to be sad, if you like, don't wipe those tears off your face. That's actually low emotional intelligence. So it's really, I hope it's making sense, because the emotional intelligence we have, 2 things happen. We benefit because we're able to work on our emotions, and our children and families benefit because we can then parent from a place of understanding that how a child feels is very legitimate and should be taken into account when we are dealing with them, when we're disciplining them, when we're talking to them, when we're communicating with them and everything. So are we together so far? Emotional intelligence is a parenting tool because it does 2 things. It helps a parent to regulate how they are feeling, and that reduces the parents who snap and shout because they are frustrated. It's not your child's fault you have spent 3 hours in traffic, is it? No, it's not. So please don't get home and take that frustration of being in traffic, which is a fair frustration to have or a fair emotion to have, but then you get home and you start to snap or lash out at everybody in the house because you are frustrated. It doesn't help anybody. So that's how emotional intelligence is such a critical tool for all of us. Okay, so it is something that the more we work on, the more we pay attention to, the better. Now, I want to talk about how it helps our children specifically and give you some practical examples. Now, I don't know how old your children are, but does anybody here still have a toddler? If you have a toddler, just say, yes, I currently have a toddler. I just want to know roughly if people on this Insta Live now, even though this will also be put as a replay, but do you have toddlers? Because toddler ages are so critical. That's when a child is learning how to express themselves, how to say no. Right? We all know that children tend to say no first. That's one of the first few words they learn. No, no, no. And guess why? They hear no so many times that they get used to telling you no right back to you. All right, so we have some parents here who have toddlers. Fantastic. I don't want you to ever refer to the 2-year-old stage as terrible twos. I know a lot of people say, oh, the terrible twos, oh, the terrible twos. I never use that phrase. My children are much older. But I never use that phrase, terrible twos. Because guess what? Whatever you speak and what you say, the emotions you have about even a stage in your child's life will affect everything. It is not terrible twos. That child at 2 years old, at 3 years old, toddler stage, they're just learning to express themselves. They've learned that, oh, I don't have to do everything these big people around me tell me to do. Simple. So they are expressing themselves. So when a child, quote and unquote, is throwing a tantrum, what does the regular parent probably do? They probably get frustrated. Once again, it's okay to be frustrated. They probably spank the child. Maybe they shout at the child. They react. But if you are reacting to a child that cannot express him or herself with words and is showing that in emotion, maybe the emotion is an emotion of anger that the toddler is feeling, or an emotion of frustration or sadness, And then you are adding your own emotion. So negative and negative in this case does not equal positive, right? So they're not terrible tools. Your child is learning to express themselves. So what you should start to do, and what I did, was stop. As long as that child cannot hurt him or herself, I will come to the child's eye level and say, what is wrong? Use your words. Use your words. What is wrong? And you'll be amazed that the more you teach a child that they have to use their words, they should explain how they are feeling, your child will start to put words together and will start being able to name the emotion. A lot of adults who are not emotionally intelligent actually don't know what to do with the emotions that they're feeling because they never learned it. So when you learn how to name an emotion, you know how to say how you're feeling, guess what can happen next? You can learn or figure out what the right behavior is to take. So if you're frustrated, or your toddler, for example, who's just hungry or is tired, whatever it is, and you get them able to use their words, they can say, maybe they've been crying and they're like, and you say, what exactly is the problem? What is wrong? Use your words. Tell me what is wrong. You'll be amazed that maybe somebody took their toy or somebody pinched them quietly. You don't know what it is, but the minute you know what it is, you can then help that child to calm down. And that scenario I have painted is the same scenario no matter what age you are. Because we have parents, we have adults who also throw tantrums. And tantrums is just an emotion that you don't know how to regulate, you don't know how to behave, and you are therefore behaving inappropriately in the general context. Okay, so that's what the toddler age is. I want to speed through the years and quickly come to the teenage years. I know a lot of people too make comments like, oh my God, the teenage years. It's like a monster comes out. The children are this. Once again, your words are so powerful. I have a teenager now and another one soon to be a teenager. I have never seen the teenage years as years that are going to be challenging or stressful. And I have just brought that same behavior, I've brought it into the teenage years. But I understand that during the teenage years, a lot is happening when it comes to hormones and how they are viewing the world and the independence that they want. So that level of emotional intelligence, I'm bringing it as well into this new stage, which means that I allow them to express how they're feeling. If I feel that, you know what, this child seems to be in a bit of a mood or is a bit quiet or maybe there's something going on, I'm okay with stepping back. I can step back, give the child the space. But guess what? When you use emotional intelligence well, you know when to step back, you know when to speak up, you know when to ask questions, you know when to just be there for your child quietly, but that they know that if they need to speak to mom or dad, you are there for them and you are willing to listen to them. Okay, so we're starting to wrap up, but I wanted to just break the concept of emotional intelligence down. It is a fantastic parenting tool. Honestly, when I work with clients and we really delve into emotional intelligence, what it means, and you layer emotional intelligence onto your parenting style, your child's love language, it's like making a pot of jollof rice. You have to mix everything in the right quantities to get that firewood jollof rice, right? I hope I'm making you hungry. But it's the same idea with parenting and using all these tools. Emotional intelligence is so powerful in life in general, but when you bring it into parenting and you bring it into your home and you learn that we all have emotions, there's no right or wrong, there's no good or bad. What happens, what you do with it is what matters. It helps your parenting be much more intentional. It improves your communication with your children, and it helps you all be able to say how you feel and then learn the right and appropriate responses to whatever emotion you are feeling. Okay, so do we have any questions at all? If you have any questions at all, please drop it in the Q&A and I will be happy to respond, help you. But if you feel that, you know what, how do I even get started with this emotional intelligence? I've never heard of it, or I have no clue how to start. Day one is always the day you wake up. It's never too late. So parenting is one of those beautiful things that I honestly believe that God has equipped us, that whatever stage you are in, you can improve it. You absolutely can improve your parenting relationship. Of course, some are more challenging than others, but you always can. So the first step is for you to start to pay attention to how you feel on a daily basis. Try to start paying attention to your emotions. Are you always happy? I'm sure there's nobody that can say they're happy 24/7, always smiling. No. Are you sometimes stressed? Are you a bit anxious because of what's going on in the world, between lockdown, new rules, new variants, online school, going back to work? There's so many things that are making a lot of us worried, anxious. Of course, all those emotions are fine. But when you can name your emotion and how you're feeling, and you can pause and see it as an indicator, then the behaviors you take as a result, you are not going to be reacting. You'll be more thoughtful. You'll be more intentional. And it's the same thing with your parenting. When you want to lash out at a child, or a child asks you a question, and because you are frustrated and tired after a long day at work, you just snap at your child and say, oh, you asked too many questions. You haven't helped that child. You've just shut them down when there's no need to. So the best way to start with this emotional intelligence journey as a parent is to just start asking yourself, how am I feeling? Put a word behind it. Ask yourself if you actually are paying attention to your emotions to make the right decisions. Remember the definition I gave earlier? Emotional intelligence is the ability to embrace and pay attention to your emotions and others' emotions and use it to make the right decision. That's the concept of emotional intelligence. All right. So any questions at all? Let me just go through, make sure I haven't missed anything. But if you have questions, please drop it in the questions box, in the bottom right hand corner. I hope this is useful. I hope this breaking down of emotional intelligence is important, because with this umbrella of emotional intelligence, you can now start taking it into every stage, into screen time, right? Into disciplining. Disciplining is not for inflicting pain. Disciplining is for a purpose, and I think that's a topic we will do next. Okay, somebody here is saying that your daughter would rather hug you than say what's wrong with her. That's fine. So perhaps her love language is physical touch. That could be her love language. So that's the way she's getting comfort, is that she wants a hug. It's okay. Hug her, but I would advise that you still help her to use her words. Maybe after you've cuddled for a little while and you can tell she feels better, you can ask her, so do you want to talk about it? I don't know, how old is your daughter? You might want to then ask her, do you want to talk about it? Or how are you feeling now? And she says no, don't push it, and just be like, if you ever want to talk about it, let me know. I'm always here for you. So a child who likes hugs, I can bet you her love language is physical touch. So mom or dad, I'm not quite sure which parent this is, continue. If your child likes hugs, give them the hugs. That's her way of getting, oh, she's 3, fantastic. So you're in that perfect stage to teach her that it's okay to express herself. So be like, okay, are you okay, honey? All right, give her the hug. You will feel from the body language. When you start paying attention to your emotions, you will know when she's gone through the stage and she's maybe a bit more consoled or feels better. Then ask her, so what's going on? Do you want to talk about it? How are you feeling now? And just encourage her. Thank you for asking that question. Love language is so important. And I have a free quiz on our website, LagosMums.com, that helps you figure out your child's love language. So you can go over and take it. So that you can just kind of figure out, are you using the right parenting style for your child's love language? All right. Hope I answered your question. I tutor French. Oh, do you tutor French? By the way, please slide into my DM if you're a French tutor. We have some parents that ask for that sometimes, so it would be good to be able to send them your way. Okay, so any more questions at all about using emotional intelligence as a parenting tool? It's definitely something you want to have in your toolkit. It's an important part of intentional parenting, and for it to work, you need to be intelligent yourself about your emotions, so that when you carry it over to your children, they understand that they can feel safe. No emotion in itself is bad. Like I said, emotion is simply an indication of how you're feeling. What matters next is the behaviors and actions that you take as a result. It is never okay to lash out, to hit people, to be mean, to be unkind just because of how you're feeling. So we need to teach them that there's an appropriate response to every emotion. And I think that will be the biggest takeaway, I would say, is my present to you through this Tech Thursday for Parents session today. We're supposed to learn how to take the right behaviors and take the right actions based on our emotions. It doesn't give you an excuse to be a mean person. That's not what we're saying at all. All right, so for people just joining, we're just wrapping up. This is a Tech Thursday for Parents with myself, Yeti Williams. I'm the founder of LagosMums. I'm a parenting coach, certified life coach, and we talk about different topics, 7 to 7:30 every Thursday. Make it a date, because I make it a date just to come here and talk. Parenting is better together. Parenting takes a village. It still takes a village, and now it just takes an e-village, which means we can connect from anywhere in the world. So make sure you tune in every Thursday. This will also be put as a replay on the IGTV. So please, bring a friend next time, and let's do this. All right, so I'm going to hang out for the next few minutes and see if there's any question at all. If there's not, that's fine. You can always reach me in my DM at LagosMums on Instagram or Facebook, and visit our website, LagosMums.com, which is the headquarters for, think of it as a parenting school where you can go in and just pick up different tips on parenting as you need it based on the age of your child. All right, I'm going to just thank you. You're very welcome, Febisola. You're very welcome. Thank you. I can tell you're a regular, right? Thanks for joining. Fantastic. Let me see if anybody. All right, I'm going to just hang out here. Thank you. Yes, that's what we're trying to do. We need to do it together. We can't parent in silos. It needs to be a network effect. We all have to raise these children. These adults we're raising, they will succeed. They will, and we will win as parents. And that's what all these conversations are about. So I'm glad you feel that this is a fantastic village. That has been my goal from day one, to create a village for us as parents raising children in this day and age, and not doing it from a place of fear, worry, or anxiety. No need for that. We're going, hey, worry mom. You're joining just as we're wrapping up. Thanks for joining. I have to bring you on for one of these sessions, the worry mom. Let's go to do it together. All right. Thanks everyone. Thanks for tuning in again today. I will see you, well, let me not say next Thursday, because I'll see you online. We're always sharing something online. But I will see you again, 7 o'clock next Thursday. Same place, same time. Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining today. Love to your families, and stay safe.